Hey, good afternoon, guys. We're sitting here in Missouri rifle season. We've had some great morning sits there, and been some quality hunts, seen a lot of deer. We're in here after one particular buck, and he's a real nice, heavy deer. He's 5.5. Got some great history with this deer. Passed him several times last year, and unfortunately, just have not connected with this deer yet. And I do have the Matthews with me, and really look forward to potentially harvesting that deer with the bow. That's kind of my goal here. But I've got the 308 suppressed, ready to rock and roll. If the deer does move through here a little further than what the bow can shoot. But a couple evenings ago, he was in here, and he went right by the food plot directly south of here. The deer typically comes off this bluff and then works back, works his way down here to the south. And then checking does is typically what that deer has done. Really from early season when I first started hunting, all the way, still to today. He's just really slowed down on his movement there. I almost had him killed earlier. I was out there. He was out there dogging some does, and I jumped into a ground blind there in late evening. But unfortunately, he was running a small little buck off, and just didn't have the opportunity to get the 308 on him before he jumped the fence and took off after that deer. But regardless, it was great to get to see him again in person. Knew he was alive. We are overlooking a winter rye and winter wheat food plot. We planted some stuff in here. With that drought, we had some decent growth early in the year, but with the deer hammering as much as they could, as much as they do on this particular food plot, and just a lack of rain, the leaves just couldn't get going again. So I ended up coming back in here and disking it all back up, just broadcasting winter rye and winter wheat. It was actually sometime in October, but the food plot's doing good. The deer continuously hammering it, and overall it's been a success there. Just for my overall management practices for these deer. So we got some deer starting to move here a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and get quiet, take you guys along for the hunt. Hey guys, well, we just saw our target buck here. He's kind of bouncing back and forth here with the doe, so not for sure, what that deer's going to do here, but we got plenty of options, and I'm hoping that deer's going to repeat what he's done in the past, where he works back out here in this particular food plot and crosses over here and give me, probably less than a 70-yard shot there. And if the deer elects to come through here, I can get the Matthews going. But I just gotta keep monitoring that deer and seeing if I can't figure out a good game plan to maybe get on that deer. So we'll keep watching him here a little bit, figure out what direction that deer's going, and then we're gonna go from there. So we'll get quiet here, and it's about to get intense. Alright guys, we got our shooter buck down here. I think he's about 200 yards. He's with a doe, so I'm thinking if that deer does not cross this fence, I'm going to be sneaking down here. I think I can get in this ditch area and then cut right across or in the trees and use this line of sight to get up on that deer, because there's a bunch of cedars back in there on the left hand side, and I think I can probably use those to try to get in there and maybe get a shot at this deer. So not sure if it's going to work, but I think that's probably going to be our only opportunity to get this deer this evening. So we're going to go ahead and get the 308 and sneak down there and see if we can't get us a shot opportunity there. So stay tuned. All right, guys, as you can see, just punched that deer out. He was slightly quartering to me, but that 6.5, or sorry, that 308, it actually hit that deer right on the money. It's a 308 suppressed. I think it's a 168 grain bullet there, and it looked like it rocked his world. So that is our target deer for this particular piece of property. He's 5.5 years old. Unfortunately, wasn't able to harvest that deer with archery gear, but at 5.5 years old, I'm gonna hammer away until we get the opportunity to harvest that deer.
got to see him, quite a bit throughout the season, and just really glad that we're able to harvest him and provide some more meat. So we'll go ahead and get some stuff loaded up here, give that little deer a little bit more time there, and then we'll show you guys him here shortly.
All right, guys. Well, we ended up getting him drug out there and got him cleaned up and gutted there. And he's a tank of a deer. He's 5.5. He actually has a point right here. It's actually another main beam that actually broke off there. And I got enough videos and history with this deer that we're going to be able to have the taxidermist replicate that off there. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have harvested him with that additional beam, but he's still a 5.5-year-old deer, and just really proud to get him on the ground there. Tremendous tine length, got a lot of character there, and just again, really proud to be able to harvest this deer. We do a lot of work effort on management, harvesting does, as well as getting the opportunity to hunt these big mature deer. And I was up in that redneck, and I had that deer on camera several times running through there. But once you get into that lockdown phase, that's when it really can get wishy-washy there, and you really got to be extremely smart in regards to hunting and hunting those does. And that's a lot easier said than done. But when I knew that this deer was coming through, or I saw him south of there at the redneck, and he wasn't heading this direction towards me, I needed to make a game plan. And I had several options, either jumping in that ditch or running along those tree lines. And I ended up running along that tree line on the left-hand side, just because I knew that deer looked like he was working back up on top of that ridge. And I actually worked out really well when I was coming through there, back in there to glass him and put the camera on him. He ended up, another doe ended up blowing, and that kind of got his attention. But I was already to the tree where I wanted to be. I was able to get behind that tree, get all the camera gear set up, get on him, and he actually worked towards me, as you guys saw in that video. And he was actually quartering to me, but I felt really confident with that shot and that weapon. I took a nice deep breath, took my time. I ended up drawing up on that deer twice just to make sure I felt comfortable with it. And as you can see in that video, I punched him out. That deer, he actually ran directly west down into the bottom. Looked like he went right back, made a big 180 circle back up on top of the ridge there, ran another probably 40-50 yards, and then he was done. So just really blessed to be able to harvest these big mature deer like this, and share them with you guys. He's actually got that hook on the back there. It's kind of a cool deal there, and nice tine lengths there. 5.5-year-old deer. Definitely things that we want to manage for and take them out, when we get the opportunity once they age, reach this age class. So I appreciate you guys liking, following me there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like always, hopefully you guys are getting out there in nature, and best luck on your upcoming hunt.